How many times have we heard this story? Artist comes out, great music video, they have to be selling millions of albums. Only we find out later they're penniless. Why? Because they had a bad first contract. Well, we're here today with entertainment attorney to the stars, Robert Celestin, to find out how to make sure that first contract is the best contract. Robert, thank you so much for taking the time and meeting with us.
Dante, thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So you're an entertainment attorney.
That's correct.
What's the difference between an entertainment attorney and any other kind of attorney?
An entertainment attorney specializes in dealing with transactions or conflicts relating to artists or professionals that work in the entertainment business. And that's an all-encompassing field. It can be recording artists, it can be actors, it can be athletes are considered entertainers, book publishers, and the like. I specialize primarily in music, reality TV, some film, some TV.
As a graduate of Yale and Columbia Law School, what made you choose entertainment to go into?
I decided to become an entertainment attorney for two reasons. One was that I was a DJ and an on-air radio personality and program and music director of a college radio station called WIBC-FM. It was actually owned by Yale University. While I was unpacking my bags, another van pulled up besides me and a bunch of guys started taking out crates of records. And you know,
back
those
when
of you
DJs
out there
used
remembers,
crates.
It was vinyl, right? It was vinyl, and they kept pulling out these crates, and they had like 4 or 5 crates on the sidewalk. So I went and I said, well, what do you guys do? And he said, we're DJs. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, cool. I developed a relationship, developed a friendship with them, and then became part of the DJ group that they were involved in, and ultimately got on the radio station, and really enjoyed it. But the second reason was I was on the radio. I was playing music by black artists, and the record industry was doing very well. And I said, hey, I want to be involved in this business. Unfortunately, I couldn't rap, or I couldn't sing, couldn't dance, but I was kind of smart. And so a lot of record label executives that used to come to my station to ask me to play some of their records for them, people like Sylvia Rohn, who's like one of my mentors, and Sharon Hayward, and a bunch of other record label executives suggested that I think about law school because behind the scenes of the record industry, lawyers run things, and there was a need for more black attorneys.
What are some of the labels and some of the artists that you've worked with?
Well, when I got out of law school, I first went to work for a corporate firm for about 2.5 years. Because normally you can't come out of law school and work for an entertainment law firm or even work for a record label without making sure you had some experience as an attorney. And I went to work for Arista Records in their legal department, worked with some attorneys there negotiating with nuisance agreements, and met a group called Houdini that was coming out at the time.
Sure.
I spent about a year there. Then I went to work for a company called Uptown Records with Andre Harrell, and signed Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Guy. Puffy was a Diddy, as people call him, was an intern.
I think he's back to Puffy now.
Yeah, well, there you go. Puff is back to being Puff. We know him as Puff, or Puff Daddy. Collectively, we represented Genuine, Timbaland, Missy Elliott. I worked with a lot of DJs like DJ Funk Master Flex, DJ Self, reality show stars like Takara Jones, Mama D from Love and Hip Hop, Shay from Love and Hip Hop. So, and worked with a lot of up and coming, production companies and record labels and managers at this point.
All right, let's talk about the artists. Why is it that so many artists seem to regret their first contract? Is the label taking advantage of them, or is it really just business?
At the end of the day, it's all about business. Record labels are putting in a substantial amount of money to invest in artists with no guarantee of a return. So the problem with a first artist deal is that it's very heavily cited or very heavily weighted in favor of the record labels, because back in the day, artists didn't really have any sort of negotiating leverage. And back in the day, I mean pre-Napster. Napster.com was the website that came out that really sort of changed and disrupted the music industry.
It made sharing music online
It destroyed the music industry, as people will tell you, because it changed the whole way that records were being distributed, and it changed the whole economic model of the music business. But before then, record labels would invest a lot of money and expertise in developing an artist. So initially, the contracts were very heavily weighted towards making sure the record labels were able to recoup their investment. A new artist would never get the best possible deal. right? It's only after the artist comes out and is successful that the artist can then go back and renegotiate and try to get better terms. There have been contracts where artists have signed to like independent record labels where, you know, the terms have really been, you know, terrible as far as the artist is concerned.
Those are the ones you hear about all the time. TLC going broke after becoming the top selling female group of all time. And you just wonder, how is that even possible?
A lot of artists are their own worst enemies at the end of the day. You know, yeah, you got an advance, right? It may not have been a great advance, but the advance is not a loan per se, in the sense that if you don't pay them back, the record company's gonna take your house or, you know, take your car or garnish your wages or anything like that. That doesn't work that way. Yes, they put money out, and before you can see a record royalty, they're gonna recoup all their money, absolutely. But there are other sources of revenue that you're making. You were doing touring. At that time, record labels didn't have anything to do with your touring income. You know, you get publishing for the songs that you write. They may take a percentage of it, but they don't take all of it. And so a lot of times, you know, artists will get a lot of money and then they end up spending it unwisely. You know, they either don't make sure they have great economic advisors around them, or if they, to the extent that they do, where they have business managers or accountants, they don't listen to what they're being advised.